Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And I have some fantastic news for you guys. This is breaking as of about an hour ago. The Second Amendment Foundation has secured another victory against the pistol brace rule coming from the ATF. Now, this is the second case this week. There's a lot of nuance here. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below, but understand this is another victory separate from the one that we had earlier. We're about to break it down right now. And if you are new or you're a returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and making sure you turn the notification bell on. We need as many people as we can to get into the fold with us so we can spread information out just like this and pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. And thank you so much in advance for your consideration. All right, my brothers and sisters, we have some fantastic news against the ATF pistol brace rule. Now, this is something that has been a big deal since January when they announced the effect going in the end of May. There's another case that has worked out in our favor. Now, there's a lot of nuance here because the actual plaintiffs, all the different pieces, and they actually roll together. Check this out because this is big news. Like I said, breaking about an hour ago. Make sure you share this. SAF wins preliminary injunction in arm brace rule challenge. It's linked down in the description box if you want to see the actual announcement. But let me show you what they said in this because this is about an hour old. This is big news. May 25th, 2023. Bellevue, Washington. A federal judge in Texas has issued a preliminary injunction in a Second Amendment Foundation challenge to the Biden administration's new arm brace rule, granting in part our motion. The case is known as SAF v. ATF. Okay? So that is one. That's what the SAF, the Second Amendment Foundation, has done. That's their bad boy right here. Here's what the judge said, and this is where it kind of splices together. Defendants are the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives and Director Steve Dettelbach, the Department of Justice, and Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. The complaint was filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Dallas Division. In her ruling, this is the part, in her ruling, U.S. District Judge Jane J. Boyle writes, quote, the court grants in part the motion and issues a preliminary injunction as to the plaintiffs in this case only. So that's plaintiffs exclusively. Pending resolution of the expedited appeal in Mock v. Garland, which was the first one, which I'm about to bring back into the frame in a second. So she's tying it to that one per the expedited request, which we now know will be June 2nd when we find out which plaintiffs are covered under that. This thing is becoming complex. Let's keep going. Under resolution of the appeal in Mock, the court will address the remaining relief plaintiffs' request in that motion. If necessary, the court will order additional briefing at that time. So once June 2nd rolls around and there's a full court hearing, say the preliminary injunction expands to the entire United States or the entire district or something of that nature. I don't know what they would do. Well, then that affects this one. So now we have two pistol brace rules all affected or all relying on how that Mock v. Garland, the first one, is ruled if the plaintiffs expand. Now, here's an important piece before I bring in that original one. We've already seen something very similar to this in Texas for the tactical machining case. Originally, the tactical machining case was against ghost guns and ghost gun manufacturers. That originally was to their customers and to the manufacturers. It very quickly spread nationwide. The injunction got legs and got more and more and more plaintiffs. That's the important piece here. This is a very, very important deal because we have precedent on how this will go. Now, this is what the Second Amendment Foundation said, and then I'll show you what the original was and how they tie together. Quote, this is a significant win, said SAF founder and executive vice president Alan M. Gottlieb. Quote, when Joe Biden took office, he immediately began weaponizing the ATF, and this new pistol brace rule is a result of that strategy. It amounts to a dramatic shift in policy and leads us to conclude the administration is moving to change the definition of pistols fitted with these braces to be rifles and thus subject to the National Firearms Act. In the process, they're turning millions of law-abiding citizens into criminals. We can't allow that to happen without a fight. 100%. I like those words. Strong. I like it. Quote, we are pleased that the court has preliminarily enjoined ATF's brace ban before the effective date, said SAF Executive Director Adam Kraut. SAF will continue to aggressively litigate this issue to prevent the erosion of constitutional rights and prevent administrative agencies from overstepping their authority. Now, that's what just happened today. Now I'm going to show you what happened earlier this week. Today's was Second Amendment Foundation, SAF. A couple of days ago, that was FPC. Two powerhouses, both going in the same direction. Appeals court ruling deals legal setback to Biden administration in gun stabilizing brace case. This was 2 days ago on May 23rd. This is the first one with FPC, so now this makes two. And here's what happened in that case, just to give you some context. A federal appeals court dealt a legal setback to the Biden administration on guns Tuesday in a lawsuit challenging tighter regulations on stabilizing braces. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals temporarily blocked the Biden administration's rule from going into effect for the gun owners and groups who filed the lawsuit. The order came shortly before the deadline that would have required people to register stabilizing braces or pay a fee or remove the braces from their weapons. That's the important piece here. On May 23rd, on a high-level recap, May 23rd, we had the FPC lawsuit get nailed and we got an injunction. Okay, that was only plaintiffs pending an expansion or just keeping it as it is on June 2nd. Now, ironically, it's a day after it goes into effect, but put that over there for a second. Then today, on May 25th, we have Second Amendment Foundation come in and get their injunction, and this one is dependent on the first one in that expedited hearing. So the plaintiffs are still small, but the potential to expand is massive, and that is what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.